इन चारों संस्थाओं का एनएफडीसी में विलय करने का निर्णय हुआ है।
NFDC is for profit and loss making because it's a corporation which is run under the government, right? Whereas the other four that we're talking about are basically archives. They hold archives of films in our country, fiction, non-fiction, commercial and parallel cinema, apart from documentary and newsreels. So they're not for profit motive. They're actually to build film culture and maintain film heritage and make it accessible to the larger public.
So it is very dangerous that these bodies are now directly in the control of a single entity which is under the control of the Information Broadcasting Minister. First thing that happened when this government came to power in 2014 is that many files related to Mahatma Gandhi's murder disappeared.
We would be naive in thinking that these visual documents, especially the non-fiction material that resides in these archives, will not be tampered with by a government that wants to change the narrative.
PSBT or Films Division, two bodies that would finance films that would be critical of the state as well. The merging is also obviously an attempt at killing the autonomy of these bodies, right? And so that the state has complete control over these bodies, right?
Both FD and PSBT require their films to be submitted to the censor board for film certification.
सर्टिफिकेट का मतलब है कि आपके बोर्ड में 10 लोग बैठे हुए पूरा फैसला कर रहे हैं कि 140 करोड़ की जनता क्या देखेगी और क्या नहीं देखेगी। ये कैसे हो सकता है लोकतंत्र?
There has always been the censor board mechanism which other governments have misused, not the BJP, even prior to that, even the Congress government. The attitude towards critical documentaries was always problematic in the sense that they didn't want that criticism to be seen widely. I won 7 court cases against the government, some for when they tried to do censorship and some because I was wanting my films shown on television, on Doordarshan, the government-run state television.
It was not just the government that was banning. Increasingly, we have seen, vigilante groups, fringe groups, what we call mob censors, who have actively protested against certain kind of imagery being on the big screen.
তো বিয়ে যদি তুমি একবারই করো জীবনে তা তোমার চাহিদাটা কোন কোন?
It's a Government of India film called Gay India Matrimony, which released in 2018, and now in 5 years after, this film is being asked to be banned.
ମୁଁ ହେଉଛି ଗୋଟେ ହିନ୍ଦୁ ଫ୍ୟାମିଲି ଘରର ଆଣ୍ଡ ରହିଲା ତାଙ୍କର ସେକେଣ୍ଡ ଫିଲ୍ମ କଥା ଯୋଉଥିରେ ରାମଙ୍କୁ ଗୋଟେ ମିଲିଟାଣ୍ଟ କୁହାଯାଇଛି ମୁଁ ମୋ ଶାନରେ ଭଗବାକୁ ଉଡ଼ାଏ 10 ବର୍ଷ କ'ଣ ମଲା ପରେ ମୁଁ ଯଦି ହବ ଦରକାର
Whether it is Deepa Mehta's films like Fire or Water, whether it is Anand Padwadhan's film called War and Peace, whether it is a film on Gujarat riots, whether it's a film on Muzaffarnagar riots, a film on caste, a film on Muslim identity. I mean, there's also been a certain kind of street censorship or a mob censorship that has sort of taken over, the cinema culture of our country.
Anand has faced, I've faced physical attacks with our Sehmat Hum Sab Ayodhya film, etc. So this is not something that one orchestrates, believe me.
I mean, 24 years after I made Ram Ke Naam, the film still gets attacked wherever I show it. I mean, not wherever I show it, but in many places. There are ABVP groups that come and don't allow the screening to take place. And finally, I had to put it on YouTube for free.
So you realize that every time a film is censored, and a certain kind of audience gets activated to make sure that we are watching those films.
First we saw the happenings in Jawaharlal Nehru University, after that Jamia, where
Delhi police has detained over 70 students who were gathered at Jamia Millia Islamia to protest against the detention of 4 activists.
Something similar happened recently with the BBC documentary, where many student bodies came together to watch that film despite the ban, and that ban of course was sort of challenged later. We have seen that with regard to Sanjay Kak's film, which was called Jashn-e-Azadi. We have seen that with Rakesh Sharma's film on Gujarat riots called Final Solution.
It is affecting us. There is always this fear at the back of your mind. You don't know how it's going to affect you, right? I mean, they could just come and pick you up tomorrow, right? They could just come and arrest you, and you could get beaten up, right? But people are still doing it.